Thursday the 6th of February 2025, and the European markets have just opened. First 5-minute bar has completed. I'm a bit late, some technical difficulties, but I've placed a buy order below the first bar, which is just slightly negative, but I think it's fine. We might not get a fill here because the market does look strong. I do have an open position in gold. I entered around here. I meant it as a swing, so the sizing is quite small. I was looking for a long position on this retrace right here to this level. I was hoping it would hold. I have my stop here, risking $40 on this swing position. I will let it run. I do, however, have an entry based off the first 15-minute bar in gold, so I might close this position and just follow that instead, but let's see. And then I also will look at the 15-minute bar close in the DAX, the first 15-minute bar in the Dow, and I do believe that's it for the morning session. I also have the first 15-minute and the UK 100, but let's see what happens here, and if the bar gets too big, I might just skip it. But yeah, this is it for this morning. I do have several trades later on that will be a bit higher in size, so raising the risk to 0.75% on the entries that look to be the highest probability, I think that's good practice. I also have a few entries that I will take in lower size to compensate. Maybe entries that are still good, but aren't as hot right now, so I'm lowering risk for that and increasing risk for entries that I think are better. So I'll pause you here. Getting close to completing the first 15 minutes here, and sadly we never really got a chance to enter long here in the UK 100. It just never revisited the low. And right now, if it revisits, I don't know if, or actually I know this entry isn't as valid. It really needs to be immediately after the first 5-minute candle is formed, like 5-minute stops. Once it has gone up and matched Asia range, this does have potential to, if it reverses, it does have potential to revisit the lows of Asia session now, or at least this bar here, which is previous day high. So I do not believe that this entry is valid anymore. 1 minute left until the first 15-minute bar completes in the Dow. And in gold, this is the live PNL. I am considering just closing this and doing a normal sized trade here to go long, because we have rated Asia session. We have rated the lows of Asia session here. And I do believe there is a chance we just go long, but I don't like adding to losing positions, even if this is meant more as a swing. So I would rather just delete this order. But let's see how we close here. And I am adding the orders to the Dow here, above and below the first 15-minute bar, because we're quite far off from the extremities that I think it's okay to place them already. And there we go. So buy above, sell below. I'm going with the larger sizing for the Dow because the bar is extra small. And also this is one of my better entries, so it's one of the entries where I think it's valid to go a bit higher in size. So let's see. And I'm just gonna place my orders here. So it's a 3-point bar. Could actually go a bit bigger in this entry as well. So I'm gonna buy stop at the usual level, sell stop at the usual 0.5 cushion below, And I will also place the stop of this entry here, so if I get filled short, I will just get stopped out of the swing. And if we get filled long, I will just you know what, I will just delete it anyway. Yeah, it was a swing, but I wanted to see a faster reaction to it. It didn't happen, so that's fine. I'll just take that off, and we just have a normal entry here, which is one of my planned entries. Now if we revisit the lows here and we get filled short, we will have to break down through previous day high. We have had a very strong move here yesterday, and even during the night we ranged above previous day low, so that kind of looks pretty strong. Even if we look at the daily outlook here, we have recovered and are close to double topping. So let's see. Again, it's a mechanical entry, it's super researched, I have high confidence in it. I was looking at the DAX second 5-minute bar here. I wasn't planning on taking it today, but again, monitoring this entry. And right now I would be in a bit of profit because I would have gotten filled short, but doesn't look particularly exciting. Okay, so we have our orders. Looking at the first 15-minute bar in the UK 100 here, this is also an entry, like 1.5 points above, but it's right at the top here. This is quite a textbook double top, and I'm not sure if I should take this actually. So I'll do it like this now. We have revisited the top and pretty much double topped here. I would have gotten filled. So if we are to really rally from here, we just have to revisit that top, and I will take the entry. And if it still reverses after that, then tough luck. I'm also using a bit more sizing here. It's 692 all the way to 674, so it's under 20 points. So this is fine according to my risk. I can actually go even bigger, but let's leave it like that. And I'm also placing the sell order below, of course. And let's see. So orders are in place here, and now it's in the hands of the market. Okay, so things have moved quickly here all of a sudden. I'm deleting the buy order. And the sizing is just a bit too much here, so I'm removing that. Let me quickly decide on a target here. I know I have to do this as well, but because I did get filled in the UK 100. Okay, so target in gold of the first 15-minute bar, 7 to 8 points, especially on the short side. So let's see, where would that take us? So this is 7. Let's go like this, 7 to 8, that's fine. Quite a strong move all of a sudden. So I'm happy that I removed that swing earlier. Let's see, hopefully we just dump here now. I think this is a good level. It's the highs of New York session from a few days ago. And we are filled in the Dow as well. Risking a bit more on this entry just because it's been a really good entry. And in the Dow, I'm just going to target 50 points here. According to my research, that is fine. Let's see where that goes to. There it is. Let me just remake this here. So yeah, just managing these trades now. ATR is 2.38 in gold. So we have moved that amount. And I just want to see the close here, and I will add to this position. We need to close at that level though. It's marginal, but I do think this is an add here. So I will be more aggressive with the stop loss in these circumstances. So raising that, lowering that stop loss, putting this in its place. So now I'm risking the same amount basically, but I stand to gain more when I'm right. And if I'm wrong and we completely reverse here, then that's just unfortunate. I didn't bring stop to break even because I do think that is just too much. So I'll just stay right above this bar here. And sometimes you just have to get a bit lucky as well, because this execution is completely part of my plan. And it would be a very nice win if we get it here. We did kind of have a strong retrace here all of a sudden. If we look on a higher time frame, considering we've rallied so long, obviously it does make sense that buyers are eager to step in. But just hoping that sellers still have a bit in the tank here. See, we would have gotten stopped out had we placed the stops to break even. But this way we just give it a bit of an extra chance to not stop us out. Let's see. It's definitely ambitious, but this is an adjustment that I've decided to make to my strategy. So when the market moves strongly in our way, I will add and be a bit more aggressive with a stop, while this will also get me stopped out a bit more often. This will also make the wins much bigger when I'm right. So I do think it's worth it in the long run. Always looking for ways to improve my results, so I think this helps. And now it's just in the hands of the market. So whatever happens, I can't really complain. I'll pause you and bring you back. Just realized that I forgot to place a target for the UK 100 trade. So on this entry, when I win, I make 13 points. I've made the least in the last 14 trading days. I've also made 15 points, 19, 20, 24, 25, and 31. So I'm just considering if I should go in between that, because we are at all-time highs here, and we are just breaking above all-time highs. If this holds, I think targeting close to 20 points is perfectly reasonable. Let me just show you here. So I think 20 points for $55, risking 57 for 55, basically a 1-to-1. I don't really want to go much higher because we have been rallying all day yesterday, so we might see a bit of a slowing down here, but I still want to give it a good chance. We clearly won't be adding here because this breakout hasn't happened fast enough, and the same goes For the Dow here, ATR is 12.58. We haven't gained that in the first 5 minutes since entering, and that's my rule for adding. But obviously I'm still optimistic about the entry, and I do think it has potential to go further up. Nice to see gold retracing a bit, but hopefully this can continue. And yeah, it's time for me to pause you again, and I'll manage these positions and show you what happens. Doesn't look like it's going to happen for us in gold. A bit frustrating. It's rare that I do higher sizing and also an add-on, and then it reverses on us. So that's unfortunate, but the UK 100 and Dow look pretty healthy so far. Obviously we are getting to Asia high here, so we might have a reaction in the Dow, but let's see, let's be optimistic. In gold, we're set to get stopped out here. Like I said, with this strategy, obviously you move the stop loss lower, so you will get stopped out more often, but you will also win more when you are right, so that's perfectly fine. And we got stopped out, so a bit unfortunate. If you check, we basically just lost $40, which was well within our risk per trade. And we would have made like 100 had we won, so yeah, you can see the ratio is very favorable, but it just wasn't meant to be today. Obviously this will now sometimes reverse in our favor, and our original stop wouldn't have been hit, but it's not something that I'll care about too much. We're trying to break back into Asia range, and this is actually going to be a long signal if we close above this bar now. So if we make basically a new high on the session and we close above it, and we close above the old high, that is quite a strong long signal. So let's see. My next mechanical entry will be based off the break of the fifth 15-minute bar in the DAX. So until then I will monitor these positions. I do hope to at least hit one of the TPs here. But let's see, and if we close here now above this yellow line, I'm actually gonna just go for the 5-minute time frame here. If we close above here strongly, I might be tempted to go long. Let's watch. Like 30 seconds until we close here. So I'll keep you here with me until we close and I'll decide. But this is clearly invalidating, so I would have gotten stopped out had I not moved my stop loss and lost more. So you can see how this trade management actually saved money. So not only did I save money, I also increased my expected value when I'm right. So I lowered my risk and increased my winning. So yes, this is a long position here. No reason to hesitate. Obviously I cannot go all the way down because it's a huge stop loss. I'm not risking $90 here. But I do think that we can go right below this candle here. And this is a strong setup. I am actually just going to risk $60 here. I don't want to lower the sizing. And I do think that we need to be a bit below this this bar here. And in terms of target here, I will just follow the structure and say just the middle of Asia range here. So just going for a 1-to-1, which I think is more than fine. DAX is breaking out. I think this is also all-time highs. No, not quite, but close to double topping on the daily time frame in the DAX. So let's see. That was very strong. I'm just hoping we get to the target here. I'm not going to adjust anything, and I'm not going to close early. So it just needs to happen. So I'll manage these positions. We're still quite a bit off the completion of the 5th 15-minute bar in the DAX. We're still at the 3rd 15-minute bar. So a long ways to go. I'll be patient, and I'll bring you back when there's something interesting happening. Getting close here in the Dow. Let's see if we can catch a TP live. Need like 9 points, I think. Gold is attempting a bit of a retrace here, which is unfortunate. I was also thinking of adding to this position had we moved quickly in our favor here, but doesn't look like it. We're still in Asia range, so this would be quite a brutal scenario for gold here, where I get filled short, I add to it, I get stopped out, and then I get this perfect setup for a long, and that reverses as well. Obviously it can happen, so I'm not counting it out, and it's not going to be a tragedy if it happens or anything, but yeah, let's see. The Dow has stagnated here a bit. I am also looking at the 1 hour outlook here. So my TP is right at the top of the body of this bearish candle. I'm not going all the way up. I do think that price can definitely go all the way up here. So I don't think I'm being too greedy or anything here. I'll be patient. Hopefully we don't see a big retracement. Just need a little bit more in both. Let's see. I'll pause you again, I guess. Come on, UK. That's really close now. And I really hate closing trades manually. I think it's just it opens you up to slippage as well and random stuff. I do think I'll just close the UK 100 trade though, because we're there basically. I'm not gonna wait around for $2. And I am going to bring stop loss to break even here in the Dow. I mean, if we do get the brutal reversal here, I don't see a reason to lose at all, because if we get back into Asia range here, we're likely going lower. So let's just do it like that, and I'll let the Dow run, see what happens, and hopefully we do get back on track in gold. So I did decide to close the Dow here. It looked like the move was losing steam, and I think it was the right decision. Even if we continue to move higher now, I basically taken $63 instead of $74, so it's not like I left too much on the table. Hoping gold also has a change of heart here, but I'll be patient and still waiting for the 5th 15-minute bar in the DAX. It's looking like it was the right decision in the Dow. We just tapped Asia session range, but we are rejecting it, so we might still go higher here, but happy with my decision. Look at that, exited right at the top of the move so far. The UK trade would have hit had I left it, but again, I think I got a good piece of the move. I'm happy. Just need to stay patient with gold, and we have finally began to form the fifth 15-minute bar in the DAX. I will follow the break of this bar, but only to the long side. So I will only be placing a long order. But if price then retreats to the low of the candle, so where a short order would be filled, I will delete the long order as it's no longer valid. So essentially, I am just interested if the long order gets filled first, and I'm only playing the long order. That is, again, according to my research, the short break of this bar has not been profitable, but the long break has. So that's what I'm doing. Little update here, not much happening in gold, and actually this price action doesn't really look that good. On the other hand, we retraced quite a bit in the Dow here, so my exit was really good for once. And with the 15-minute bar, it is breaking to the downside. So I'm not going to add my long order above it. I do feel like in this particular structure, the long is probably a bit more risky than I wanted it to be, because we have been rallying for quite a bit here without any proper retrace. So I do think that I'm just going to skip this entry. I will wait a bit more for gold, but I might close that early if I don't see some strength anytime soon. This candle close below the previous bars is kind of bearish. So let's see. It's not looking particularly great, this gold trade. I do feel like there's a retracement coming here. And yeah, if this trade was to run, it should have run by now. I do think that it can go higher, but with how the structure feels like now, I think it needs to go lower before it goes higher. And of course I get a bit unlucky when I click. I lose a bit more, but it doesn't matter. DAX is marching forward. Had I taken the 15-minute bar normally, I would have been filled short. This way I am missing out on the long, but I'm not losing that entry either, so I do think that's fine. I will be back for the US session with a new list of entries. It was a good session. We ended up in profit, so that's nice. Hopefully we have an even better session tomorrow. Later today, because the last few US sessions have been quite difficult. So let's hope for a better session. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you enjoy this type of content, and I will see you for the US session.